Welcome to Nerd Barrage. I'm Jennifer, and this is Bonita.
Today we are introducing a new series. What are we gonna call it?
Yeah, we didn't think about that. Nerd Barrage Builds.
I like it.
Yay.
So, for our first video of Nerd Barrage Builds, we are going to be making wands in anticipation of the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie, which comes out November 18th. So, the things that you'll need for this particular build are chopsticks, a hot glue gun, plenty of glue sticks, clay if you prefer, various beads and embellishments, a box knife or scissors, paints and brushes, and an acrylic clear coat to finish. So our first build, we're going to start with the easiest wand. Mine are a little more simple. The Jennifer's, she went all out. She went big instead of going home. So for this first wand, you're going to start with your chopstick. And to build up the base, we're just going to layer on a ton of hot glue. You want to mark off where you want the glue to end with just a little line of it. That way you know how far up to go. And then I'm just going to layer on the glue, globs and globs of it.
Oh, and parents, if your kiddos are doing this, help them out, because you don't want them burning themselves.
Once it's cooled down enough, you can run it between your fingers to kind of mold it to the shape that you'd like. And you can smooth out any rough edges by using the tip of the hot glue gun. We're going to add a bead to the end here for some emphasis. And then for the layers of beads around that, we're going to use two sizes, a smaller one and a larger one at the base. So the first layer will be your smaller bead. You're just going to layer up some more hot glue to make it almost flush so that the smaller beads stick out a ways from the large embellishment bead. After that, we're going to put another row down below. We're going to use those slightly larger beads and put those in between. And then we're going to layer up glue at the base, and we're going to start on the tip of the handle. And here I'm just smoothing everything down a little bit to give it a nice clean finished look. And I'm building up the front of that handle. Here I'm going to add an even smaller sized bead than what I used for the bottom. Be careful with the hot glue, it's very hot. So here we're just filling in any gaps that are left and giving it a nice finished tapered look. So once you have your wand as smooth as you'd like, it's time to move on to painting. So for this particular wand, I'm going to start out with a black base, and I'm just going to paint the whole thing from top to bottom. And next I'm going to mix some white and black paint to get a light gray color. And we're going to go over the entirety of the wand with this. And you don't want to press too hard when you're doing the paint here because you want some of that black to show through. And then with the clean brush, I'm going to dry brush over the handle just to make it a little bit darker and to bring out the detail a little bit more. And once you're done with that, you can hit it with your clear coat of acrylic, and we'll move on to the drip wand. So this next wand is this really fun drip wand. You're going to need your chopstick again, and you're going to just layer on circles of glue around the chopstick and let it drip down. Wait until each layer has cooled before you add the next, and hold it at various angles to let it drip at different speeds. Once it's cooled down enough, you can paint the whole thing with a dark, dark brown. To get this color, I took a burnt sienna and I mixed it with a little bit of black, and it gave me this really rich, chocolatey brown color. Next, I'm just going to use a makeup sponge and apply a layer of gold paint to the high points of the drips to accentuate the texture of the wand. And I'm going to go down the tip of the wand as well, paying close attention to go down the sharp corners so that it gives it an aged look. And there you have it.
So this is a less traditional wand. For the handle, I cut the twine to a desired length and used the initial piece as a template for the remaining 7 pieces, giving me a total of 8 strips. To add a little weight and thickness to the handle, build up a layer of hot glue the length of your twine pieces. And what I'm doing here is rotating the chopstick to help the glue dry faster. Once your base is dried, begin attaching your twine one at a time by adding a strip of hot glue and squishing your twine on top until the glue has cooled. And just repeat the process for the remaining pieces. And if you have a piece that refuses to cooperate, all you have to do is just add a bead of glue and hold it in place. Your handle should look like this or something similar. So to create this texture for the remaining part of the wand, you'll just add on a line of glue and use the tip of the glue gun to flatten the strip. And you don't want a smooth surface because we're going for an organic feel. So once you're satisfied with the texture, you're ready to paint. So I started with metallic gold paint and applied 3 coats. Once the first color has completely dried, you'll add a thin wash of burnt sienna. You'll mix a little water to thin the paint and lightly brush the layer on top. So to add more flair to your wand, I added gold embellishments at the end of my wand, and I added on these leaves and glued on some more gold pieces.
So there's how we made our wands. Just like I promised, lots of hot glue. I was not kidding or exaggerating. Lots of hot glue.
So be very careful.
We don't want anybody to burn themselves making a wand. That's no fun.
Well, as you can tell, Bonitas was more traditional, and mine not so traditional. So do whatever you want. Let your imagination run wild. We'd love to see your creations too.
Absolutely. So if you make something, feel free to put it on Instagram, tag us at NerdBarrage, put it in the comments on Facebook, whatever you want. Add your house, we might give out points.
Sounds like bribery.
A little bit. I'm a Slytherin, that's okay.
I'm a Hufflepuff. So go Hufflepuffs. Well, if you liked us, don't forget to subscribe and share us with your nerdy friends.
Yep.
Knox.